Well, hi everyone. Welcome to Cooking in HD. It's Bart. And on today's episode, I've made for you a lamb ragu, which is sort of ragu is like a spaghetti or pasta sauce that's warm and comforting and perfect for a really cold winter February night like this one. So in this particular dish, I've used lamb as the predominant ingredient. Why? Because I happen to have a lot of ground lamb on hand, but if you don't have lamb, then you can use ground pork or ground beef. Those are all really good substitutes. And the other thing that I've done is I've actually used a Côte de Rhône red wine, which is sort of a medium to full-bodied red wine, and reduced it in the sauce, and that's given it an extra dimension or flavor that I think makes this a really standout dish. So if you're looking for a nice comforting meal on a super cold and chilly night, this is the one for you. So stick around and I'll show you how to make this. Okay, let me show you guys what goes into my lamb ragu. Okay, here's my lamb right here. You can use ground pork or even ground beef if you don't like lamb. I've got about 3 cloves of garlic. I've got some ham, some prosciutto ham, which I'm going to finely dice. I've got some herbs. This is rosemary and thyme, finely chopped. I've got some extra virgin olive oil, a can of tomato paste, some beef broth. I finely diced some red onions, some celery, and some carrots. Obviously I've got my pepper and salt. I've also got some Parmesan cheese, which I've grated. I'm gonna add a little bit of red wine, and I'll be serving it over top of some egg noodles. These are sort of broad egg noodles, and you can't see here because they're in the fridge. I'm also gonna use butter, and I'm gonna add a little bit of 5% cream as well. You can see my butter sizzling away there. So now I'm just gonna add my veggies, and I'm gonna saute these up and get them nice and soft. Okay, the veggies have almost softened up completely, and now I'm just gonna take my garlic press here, and I'm gonna put some garlic into this pot. I'm waiting until they're almost completely soft because garlic burns quickly, so I don't want to add the garlic in at the same time as I add the vegetables. Give the garlic a quick stir. Just fry it up for about a minute or two. And then we're going to put our meat in, our prosciutto ham and our lamb. Our garlic is now softened and our veggies are soft, and so I'm going to start adding the lamb. And I've got, I reckon, probably a little bit more than a pound. I don't think you need more than a pound, but I'm just going to add about a little bit more. Okay, that ought to do it. And I'll just start mixing this up and incorporating everything together. Alright, now you can see that I've added the ground lamb, the pancetta bacon, and now I'm just going to mix everything together once again. You can see that I mixed everything together well, and now it's time to add some salt and pepper and season this properly. Okay, now you can see I've added some tomato paste, and I'm going to mix this in as well. This will just give it some nice sweetness and an extra, I guess, a dimension of flavor. And once I mix this in well, then we're gonna add our wine and a little bit of beef broth as well. Now our tomato paste is nicely mixed in, and I'm just gonna take about a cup of wine and pour that in. We'll mix that up as well. There we go. Okay, at this point I just want to add some of my thyme and rosemary. Now I've just put my stove on medium-high heat, and I'm going to bring this to a boil, and then I'm going to reduce it down to a simmer. Okay, my ragu is now at a boil, so I'm just going to add a little bit of beef broth. to almost cover it, and then I'm going to turn it down to a nice gentle simmer. Let's see, there, like that. Okay, and I'll give it a mix. Put the lid on, and we'll just let it simmer for about an hour. I'm just going to add a little bit more beef broth. Put the lid on and just let it simmer for an hour. Well guys, it's been about an hour. Let's take a look here. There's the 1 hour timer mark going off. Okay, so this looks great. You can see that there's some sort of oil that's come out of the lamb. Even if you weren't using lamb, there would still be oil. So what you want to do is skim this off the top, and then we're going to add a little bit of 5% cream to this next. Okay, well, I have skimmed all of the fat and grease off the top. Now I'm going to add about 1 cup, half a cup or so of 5% cream. I'm just going to mix this in. And give you a better view here. And I've also added about, for this size pot, about 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, just to balance the salt that I added, the salt that was in the prosciutto. It just gives it just a slightly more balanced flavor. So I'm gonna put the lid on, and this will simmer for about another half an hour or so. All right, well, let me show you what I have here. I'm happy with this sauce and its consistency. So let's plate it up and taste it, and I'll let you know how it tastes like. But we're really pleased with that. It's just nice and it's thick, hearty, saucy. It's gonna be outstanding. Right, there you go. I've plated this, and then I'm just gonna take some Parmesan cheese, freshly grated, and let that melt. And now let's give it a bite and taste this delicious lamb ragu. Now I'm gonna kind of stick my fork in there. Okay, I've got my egg noodles on there, my lamb is on there. All right, there you go. It's creamy, it's hearty, it's a little bit sweet from the veggies that I've put in. I gotta have another taste. It's so good. The veggies make it a little bit sweet. There's a little bit of tartness from the wine that's in there. And now I'm gonna chase it with a little bit of red wine. Oh, that's so good. I know you guys are really gonna enjoy making this lamb ragu. And remember, if you don't like lamb, it's not a problem. You can use ground beef or ground pork. Those will go really well with this recipe. I'll see you again soon on Cooking in HD. Cheers.